Jack and Adam, two cops, see something suspicious in one of the neighborhoods. A gray car that's been abandoned by the side of the road, then something even more suspicious, two guys with bikes coming up to that car. They ask for the license and registrations, and Jim and Charlie, two LDS, Latter-day Saint Mormon missionaries, they explained, we're missionaries, we're trying to get business for our church. And Jack says, well, you have to understand, we need to protect our citizens. And that guy Jim Jones and Charlie Monson, they were also drawing up business for the church. Now, who is the leader of this little church of yours? Jim and Charlie, two Mormon LDS, Latter-day Saint missionaries, are in the South, and they're in Darren's house, and he has a some antlers up on above the fireplace, and he's explaining to them that it's like a trophy, let everyone know I was out in the wilderness getting my food. And Jim says, oh, we kind of got something like that with our church. And yeah, they're right. I've seen them parading little old ladies in wheelchair, and yes, I've seen them pushing a stretcher down a street with a little old man in it. They like to parade those trophies around, get the truth out about them. A senator and a reporter are on a fact-finding tour of Utah, and the false prophet of the Mormons, Manson, is there because they're asking about Mrs. Moneybags, and he explains to them that she and many other of the elderly, more affluent elderly, they bring them into Utah once they convert them so they can appreciate the ugliest sin temples, and they can sign over the will, stuff like that. And a missionary runs up and hands Monson a note that says Mrs. Moneybags and the others wants to go, and he's so confused he hands it back to the reporter and runs off. He says, I gotta get me some Kool-Aid. Kayla cringes as she sees the angriest couple in the world come walking into her restaurant. But they seem oddly nicer tonight. And Oscar, a friend of Kayla's, explains why. Everyone's been documenting Sam and Lori bombs, active part in America's hijacked lifelines, and the anger that drives their blackened hearts and soul. Yeah, they can reach me by phone. If you can't, you need to ask them what they know that allows their phone to work. And yeah, they stage a little slow service and get that anger and then get it on video, and so does the rest of the restaurant. Joseph sees a whole lot of construction going on at his neighbor, the fire station. And he walks over, and the fire chief is outside, and he asks, what's that all about? And he said, well, we've had some trouble. Some of the firefighters have been too drunk to go down the pole. They weren't, holding on, hurt their leg when he came down. We got the elevator in there so that they can go up, but they gotta get down in a hurry. And yeah, the stairs are the same as the pole, so we're putting in a slide. They just jump on the slide, go down, and hopefully one of them is sober enough to drive. I'm Melton. I've seen the character of LA firefighters. You need to test that character before you come out here as a tourist. 424-229-4140. That's how. In front of them. So is driving a truck and Jack's with Leo. They're delivering Big Fives and Mormon Beware photos. That's a 4x6 photo, so are these. To all the churches in the city, the county. And Jack does the talking. He says the first thing the devil's going to do is try to tell you that these men and women knocking on your door are just like your kids. Couldn't be further from the truth. Your kids are in the military. Your kids are at college. Your kids are working hard, as these folks, the wolves among sheep, are casing your neighborhoods and preying upon your elderly. And yeah, your kids don't pal around with Muslims on Utah campuses, college campuses, and elsewhere. Check and post in 5. Wallpaper your neighborhood with these Mormons Beware images. 424-229-4140. Make a video of your hijack culture and man in the shadows. Oh, I'm in the bright sunlight too. 424-229-4140. Make a video. And remember, when those Mormons are casing your neighborhood, when you're hard at work, when they are going after your elderly, it disappeared on me. Check and post the 5. Let me get it real quick. Man in the shadows with light of truth. Stone Cold Mountain, John Mountain Brady. Son of Carpenter, Dad Carpenter, worked on skyscrapers, Mom Mary Ann. But let's go the chair behind Stone Cold. Try to call me right now, 424-229-4140. Make a video of America's Hijacked Lifeline. Whatever boring thing you get, not going to be boring if you need the firemen, police, paramedics. It's money out of your pocket every day. And those hijacking calls to me are word enough about it to alter phone records covered up. And remember, print out these from vote-truth.blogspot.com. Tell the Mormons what you think of them casing your neighborhoods, preying on your elderly. Come see me in Gold. We'll travel. Jennifer has just had a vision of Jesus. And he told her to witness the devil. Dial 424-229-4140. That's me. I've been asking for a 911 Flight 93 check for over a decade. I have yet to get one. I'm John Mountain Brady. There's my contact, that Big 5, telling you how to check and post a 5. Giving you my address as well. Certified mail, not one bit of certified mail about those 93 checks in a decade of asking. And the Jennifer does what Jesus says. He says, witness the devil, preying upon your neighbors as well. You must get the word out about them. 424-229-4140. Whatever foreign thing you get when you don't get me, not going to be born, need firemen, police, paramedics. A Jack and Adam are two Protestants from different religions who recognize the devil walking among us, the wolves among all of Christianity, the worst kind, the Mormons, the Latter-day Saints. And as they have that new image in boxes of 4x6 photos to hand their flocks, Adam explains they're making a video as well. The harassment techniques they're using against the man in the wheelchair, John Mountain Brady, and Eagle Rock were not devised just for him. They're doing that in our neighborhoods worldwide. We need to get the truth out about the Mormons. We don't like you casing our neighborhoods, preying on our elderly. Darren has just been in a really bad car wreck. He went tumbling down the highway. Firefighters used the jaws of life to get him out of that thing. They have him on a stretcher, and Carl is leaning over him. and saying, you're going to be all right. We're going to get you to the hospital. You're going to be all right. And he looks up at him and he says, oh, whatever you do, don't let the cops talk to me. Whatever you do, don't let the cops talk to me. I just had a couple. I didn't think I was that bad off. And Carl laughs. He says, oh, don't worry about that. It's not you, it's me. Yeah, I saw the character of LA firefighters, not just once, but just the once recently, as they didn't take me to a good hospital with my insulin poisoning. And yeah, reeked of alcohol. Rebuild what the cowardly Husseins have torn down in America. I hear they rebuilt the World Trade Center in New York. What affects you and me all across America are our phones, and that's what placed that cowardly Hussein in our White House. Right after we got attacked by a whole lot of other cowardly Husseins. Pick up the phone right now. I'm John Milton Brady. I've been asking for a 9/11 Flight 93 check. That's you calling me right now, anytime. And knowing your phone's allowed to work all the time because you can reach everyone. Political, religious, and business censorship is not stopping it. Make a video. Those hijacking your calls to me for over a decade are worried enough about it to alter phone records covered up. Make that video, post that video. Frank and Alice are at the bedside of Amber, their small child, and the doctor is there from Dignity Health, and he doesn't have a pen. So Frank gives him a pen to jot some stuff down, and he walks off with it. And Alice says, is that pen of yours with the audio maker in it? And Frank says, yeah. I've heard bad things about Dignity Health and their hospitals. I want to make sure Amber's getting decent treatment. Oh, I got insulin poisoning and they ignored it at Glendale Memorial. You can just check and post in 5 with them to get the truth of their character. Jim and Charles, 2 LDS Latter-day Center Mormon missionaries, are casing the neighborhood, and they come across Abigail. She answers the door. She says, I thought you were that nice man from the neighborhood. He gets my prescriptions for me. And of course Jim and Charlie say, oh, well, of course we'll get your prescriptions for you. Yeah, long story short, Abigail is blurry-eyed and talking to some church princesses the next day, the next day, you take your pick. And she's saying this is the king. She's a little bit confused now. Bad pills or something. A little bit confused, and she says, is this the King James Version? And they're taking photos of her stuff to find out what's antiques or not, and they say, oh, yes, ma'am. The apocalypse. Mormons with high-tech toys. Not letting my computer work at this moment. There was people walking among us. My MELTON is not here. Do you see a MELTON here that has where this goes? I've already put these together in specific order, and the devil's people are earning exceedingly more pain for their pod people on hand, and exceedingly more truth. Like this. Print this out left and right, put it on your doors, put it up on billboards outside the Mormon fraud of faith temples and churches across our country. Tell them we are watching you, never mind the dogs, we don't like you casing our neighbors and preying on our elderly. These screenshots, as well as my screenshots of all my Instagram, or not all, past couple months perhaps, I don't know, were on my phone and were deleted. They're backed up to Flickr and they've been removed by terrorists, Muslim, Mormon terrorists. connections are obvious. On hand with high-tech toys. It literally, I had the flicker open and it literally started deleting in front of me, saying deleting 250 something plus images. Photos for the day, and yes, that's coming up. The day started out with, that's them right here, with the new doctor who has the nurse coming to get blood at 9 in the morning and didn't come for the fasting blood thing. Gonna come Monday, and CVS not getting their pain medicine here. Pathetic folks on hand to take terrorists. Solari Enterprises take terrorists playing stupid. They had the Muslim guy from down below. I couldn't understand what he's saying, but he was up on this floor threatening in some way. I could tell from the bearded facial expression. And now my nurse, I had a nice visit with a doctor she sent, but she is being unreasonable. I'm telling her I'm not going to answer the door after dark. Why are you sending a nurse in at night? I explained the situation to her. I don't think I was talking to her. I'm talking to those hijacking your call to me, 424-229-4140. Ask and answer Jesus' question about Barack Hussein Obama being that terrorist I saw in the window earlier today with the insulin poisoning and the decades of Mormons taking part in America's hijacked lifelines, and me telling you for the past 10 years, over 10 years, two checking posts on 5, 424-229-4140. Make a video of your hijack call to me. You don't know when else your phone won't be allowed to work. Those hijacking your calls to me with those 93s, take 911 flight 93 checks, they're worried enough about to alter phone records covered up. And yes, that's the reason for the insulin poisoning. I talked to a nice doctor today, and his assistant nurse, and right after he left, it's kind of a combination of the folks from the maintenance guy here and the one with the hatred noise from down below in a very threatening manner outside the window directly after they left. Yeah, I can't read lips with all that beard. Adam is at work in the break room with a Latter-day Saint, LDS, proud of that title, the Mormons. And he says, as they watch on the TV, footage of 9/11 with the planes crashing into the buildings, he asks Jim, the Mormon, are those terrorists on those Muslim terrorists on those planes there, are they your brothers? And yes, of course, the Mormon says, yes, they are. Yeah, I know a lot of Christians and other folks preach that brother-sister thing. Here's where the man, me, asking for a 9/11 Flight 93 checks for a decade and not getting one. That's your family's lifeline not being allowed to work. Ask and answer Jesus' question, and yes, the Muslims and the Mormons are those who are an active part around me for decades with that. I gotta make it an AB. CBS is, I called up, I need, in the middle of the new doctor, and I'm getting new meds, hopefully gabapentin again, and something else for pain. Sleep's my pain medicine now, so I need the refill of the Ambien. And it's only a partial, for whatever reason, and they told me they can get up there at the corner. That's a little far to go when you're suffering from insulin poisoning. And then they told me to get it at Target, CVS, right across the street when I get food. And I called up, they said, sure, come on over Monday, and no, called up, China called me up to tell me they can't do that. I made a little video of that, and that's also been deleted from my Flickr. When the Latter-day Saints, LDS, Mormons, proud of that title, Latter-day Saints, when they knock on your door, try to call me, John Milton Brady, and ask them, how do you reach this man by phone as part of religious censorship in America? When else will my family's lifeline not be allowed to work because of the very active part you have in America's hijacked lifelines? 424-229-4140. I've been asking for a 9/11 Flight 93 check of America's lifelines for a decade. I have yet to get one. Those hijacking your call to me right now are worried enough about it to want their phone records covered up, and the Mormons are a part of that. Yeah, the ones from Utah. 9/11 Flight 93, check and post in 5 when they come to your door. Ask them, why isn't my phone working? Respond in a taunting way. So this parable about some folks who hate their boss, it's a Chinese bitch. She's in her office and there's a lot of noise coming from there, and they've all gathered around the door to find out what's going on, and one of them knows. He says he usually does it at home. Can I get my Mormon's area? She usually does it at home, but yeah, I guess she had to do it here. And after a long while, the door opens and she has maintenance come get a bag, a garbage bag there. Yes, she shed her skin. The snakes, the devil's people walking among us, the Chinese. And these are their proxies, the pod people. Give them hell when they knock on your door and say, we don't like you casing our neighborhoods and preying on our elderly. We're going to put a stop to it. Jack is a cop in any town, USA. He says, hey, Jared, come over here. Calls him aside, and Jared is a thug in uniform for the LDS, Latter-day Saints, Mormons, and his neck of the woods. And Jack knows this. He says, I know you feel sorry for the Mormons being odd and all that. And I think he said, no, on Baker Street, they got into some trouble. And Jerry says, thanks. And he goes out, siren screaming, goes on over, and yeah, Leo's over there. He's another cop with other cops there, and they're making a documentary of how the Mormons use both cops and officials. Do that. Check and post in 5 as well in front of those officials. I swear, the devil hates that image. Not the third time. Propped up like that. It's been thrown. Remember to ask and answer Jesus' question. Is Barack Hussein Obama a terrorist? I've been asking for a 9/11 Flight 93 ticket for a decade, and I've yet to get one. 424-229-4140. Whatever boring thing you get when you don't get me. Oh, that's a genetic wound. Whatever boring thing you get when you don't get me, it's not going to be boring if you need the firemen, the police, or the paramedics. And money in your pocket every day, so your gates library, of course, Lifeline's the most important thing. Certified email 4260 Eagle Rock Boulevard, apartment 409, John Melton Brady. No 936 in over a decade. Make a video review. I just call to me right now. I had to close my window. The devil, sometimes I refer to them as Lori or the devil or the Chinese. They don't like my new image of truth about the Mormons. I'm forming it. I'll get back to it as soon as I get some food. I'm dealing with some insulin poisoning right now. But the devil also doesn't like the truth about those who attacked us from the outside, then attacked us from the inside. First with 9/11, then with that cowardly Hussein they placed in the White House, aside from those cowardly Husseins that attacked us with 9/11. You're going to get more truth from Mel. Son of Carpenter, my dad Carpenter worked on skyscrapers, Mom Marianne. Son of Carpenter Mary, it's my job to give you truth. Adam has just sat down with Kayla and his kids for dinner when the LDS, the Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, interrupt his dinner. He goes to the door, he says, oh, yeah, they told us you were in the neighborhood. And then he hands them, this is a 4x6 photo right here, never mind the dogs, beware the owners. Phone's the truth. documenting Mormon character and crimes across the country. And he's also got some fives there. He says, it's got my contact. I've been asking for a 911 flight 933 for a decade. I've yet to get one. Make a video if you had that call to me. Those hijacking your calls are weird enough about to all your phone records covered up. So make that video, post that video, and he hands him the two missionaries, a 4x6 Mormons beware. He said, go to the man on the corner with the flag. He's a veteran. He wants to try to call Melton in front of you. And yes, we noticed you were part of placing that cowardly Hussein in our White House. Morons from the, it's a reference to turncoats of military streets. From next door, practicing Chem Bio, so I got to close the door. You can't smell the Chem Bio? Well, that's, we're the one and only. Tells you about your family's hijack lifeline. 424-229-4140. Make a video. I've been asking for a 911 flight 93 check for a decade. I have yet to get one. Make that video, post that video. Oh, I think I gotta add one. Make that video, post that video. And you got the timestamp on your phone, you got the number dialed, you got Trump and Hussein's phone gate. Make that video, post that video. It's going to be just as newsworthy if you need the firemen, police, paramedics, and your phone's hijacked in that fashion. Gold, we cast a handsome shadow, don't we? Henry and Jack are driving down an LA street when they hear that siren behind them. And Henry pulls over the side, not only pulls over the side, jumps a curb and goes into a parking lot. And his friend asks, why'd you do that? And he said, oh, I've seen the character of LA firefighters just like Stone Cold Melton, John Melton Brady. Son of Carpenter Mary. Dad Carpenter worked on skyscrapers, Mom Marianne. He's seen the character, and yeah, he had to spend an extra hour waiting to get to the hospital because they wanted to stop and get a drink or two at the bar. Yeah, the one who didn't take me to proper medical treatment had liquor on his breath. I'm Melton, Chicken Post 5 with Lady Fire Department. And Charlie, two average Mormon LDS Latter-day Saint missionaries are walking up to a door, could be in any city in America, and they see a sticker, a little graphic art on the door there that says, Mormons, never mind the dogs, beware the owners in our neighborhood, our city. We're all armed with phones, making videos of your character. We don't like you casing our neighborhoods where we are off hard at work. We don't like you preying on our senior citizens. Check and post 5. Put those 5s on the doors as well. John Melton Brady, son of Carpenter and Mary. Dad Carpenter worked on skyscrapers, Mom Marianne. Yeah, Stone Cold Melton with the light of truth. Next time those Mormons knock on your door, have this to hand to them, or just use the text and tell them. Active in the harassment techniques here with a man in a wheelchair. You're tired of them casing your neighborhood? You don't like them preying on your elderly neighbors? Never mind the dogs, Mormons, LDS Latter-day Saints. The owners are armed with phones making videos of your crimes. We don't like your connections to your Muslim brothers either. We still remember 9/11. So Wendell just rushed into Adam's office. And he says, you won't believe it, Stone Cold Melton. John Melton Brady, son of Carpenter Mary, died Carpenter Town Skyscrapers, Mom Mary Ann, son of Carpenter Mary, get to tell parables. He just placed 2 interviews from the past month on his youtube.com/DNFD series. And Adam says, no, that can't be. Military Mormon Muslim Jim promised me if they were going to tear down that Great Wall of Evil, I'd be in on the ground floor with his impersonators. Yeah, you got to recognize that crack in the wall and widen it, guys. 424-229-4140. 424-229-4140. Make a video of America's hijacked lifelines right now. Come see me in person. No, Gwendolyn. Let's take your photo over by those nice antiques of yours. I can't believe that those children of yours don't come visit you more often. You are just a joy to talk to. Yes, Sarah and a couple of other Mormon church princesses, LDS, Latter-day Saints, proud of that title, put these, this is a 4x6 folder, prepared all of these, to print out and hand out in your neighborhood. Never mind the dogs. Beware the owners. Americans armed with phones documenting crimes, Mormons across America. We don't like you casing our neighborhoods while we're working, and we don't like you preying on our elderly neighbors. Print out those files with my contact and try to call me in front of them. Ask them, how do you reach this mass part of religious censorship? Pose. Harbinger of the apocalypse, Mormons with high-tech toys. When they knock on your door, you tell those devils. America's watching them, documenting with their phones that aren't altered like this one is right now. It's a very good phone. We're documenting the devil's hatred. You're preying on our elderly. You're casing our neighborhoods. We don't know what the hell you're doing. We know it's wrong because we see Melton's documentaries of you. And we don't like you being in our neighborhoods. Never mind the dogs. Beware the owners with videos. Video cameras on their phones. You devil people, you Tawny Mormons. Welcome to hell, a well-earned hell of truth. And the devil waiting for you afterwards. Mormons and their dangerous Muslim brothers on hand. Blocking my Instagram description, where I apologize about the shaking. I'm undergoing insulin poisoning because I've been asking you to check your family's lifeline for a decade and I've yet to get one. And those conducting harassment techniques like the noise next door and the noise from down below, and literally blocking 5 attempts and it's still not there. Make that video, post that video, and yeah, www and these other vote-truth.blogspot.com and FIREMEN check. There's where you can print these out, hand them out at your door, warn your neighbors when they're coming through, so you can do that. And have everyone with a flag on their door check and post and file in front of those Mormons threatening America. Jim and Charlie to Utania. Mormon missionaries are shuttling a Muslim brother back to the bishop's house in their gray car before they when they go back to Utah, they'll take him back there for who knows what reasons. But yeah, they've been conducting some harassment techniques in any town USA, same that they're conducting right now beneath me. And they have a minor fender bender. The cop pulls over and the trunk just won't close, and they got all their ill-gotten gain. Little perks of casing neighborhoods, you know, jewelry, phones, antiques. So the false Mormon prophet is raising hell with Jacob, member of his fraud of faith. It says they know information about us and our Muslim brothers and the harassment techniques we are part of worldwide. And yes, the hijacked lifelines 424-229-4140. They know that, and you know, as he's talking to Jacob, a couple of missionaries are ripping out the Spectrum modem and cable box of Jacob's. He says, you don't use that. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Military Pitbull Project, listening in, says, "Oh, stupid son of a bitches. It's their damn phones. They're telling the world. The devil's people walking among us with their Mormon, Latter-day Saint / Muslim connection very obvious around me, not allowing the phone to back up or post to Instagram. Again, as they conduct harassment techniques from below. Get that text that's being blurred right there. This is a very good camera. And you say that when the devil's people, much bigger than Jim Jones, and very obviously the same. Knock on your door, say, never mind the dogs, but we're the owners. America has phones of truth documenting your character and your crimes, casing our neighborhoods, and preying on our elderly. Hand them that as a 4x6 print, or just use the text to say what the world wants to say to them. Worked a 55-hour week. His wife's been hard at work too, and they've just sat down to dinner. He looks out and sees the Mormons, LDS, Latter-day Saints, proud of that title. And he says, okay, Ralph, you got this one. And he hands Ralph the 4x6 photo. And he says, you know what to do afterwards. And Ralph goes out the door, meets the Mormons, hands them the Mormons Beware image here. You can print out through these sites, follow the links, look for the Mormons Beware folder, download, print them out, wallpaper your neighborhood with them. And after Ralph hands them the Mormons Beware 4x6 photos, he barks at them until they leave the yard. I'm Melton. Try to call me 424-229-4140. Certify your mail to me. Do this. A Sarge has a flash drive full of imagery from one and only Stone Cold Melton. John Melton Brady, son of a carpenter, married Daddy Carpenter, worked on skyscrapers, Mom Mary Ann. I'm son of a carpenter, I get to tell parables. And he says, remember how I told you he's sick from the insulin poisoning of the devil's people walking among us? He's not at his best. He will, be at his best when he gets his ass kicking boots. So he's still feeling sick, but here's that image he designed. Send it home to your families so they can put it on their front doors and let the Mormons know we're watching them and their Muslim brothers. Semper Fi, high five, five, win this, we will depend. Not letting my phone work, not letting my computer work at this moment. Harry and Edna, a sign of the apocalypse, a harbinger of the apocalypse, pod people, Mormons, Utonians, with those high-tech toys and other dangerous stuff on American soil with their Muslim brothers. Harry and Edna are on a ferry, and Harry is complaining, and Edna says, well, then you calm down, just enjoy the view. You're always complaining about going through Utah and seeing all that. Now that Stone Cold has sunk them with their truth, with his truth about them. Enjoy the ride until they get that big highway across Utah, the ocean. No longer Utah. It's called Truth now. Yeah, when Spectrum knocks, show them this fight and show them my new Mormon image. Beware Mormons. And don't forget Spectrum's decibel law-breaking fleet as well. Yes, it's 9 o'clock at night. Ask and answer Jesus' question and simplify. Aim high, fly, fight, win. This school will defend America from those hijacking our lifelines. 424-229-4140. Make the video post together right now. Whatever you get when you don't get me. MELTON. Whenever you hear Spectrum's decibel law-breaking fleet, that could be damaging your child's hearing as they install your cable and internet or work on it. Ask him, how do you reach young Milton Brady and why are you taking active part? Like the Mormons, the Latter-day Saints, LDS, print these things out to warn your neighbors about them preying on your neighborhood. Casing your house while you're at work, preying on your elderly neighbors. And he has also the fibes with my contact information. You can certify mail to me. You can make that video of your hijack call to me. Do that and ask, when else will my family's lifeline not be allowed to work? What's your part in that spectrum? Mormons? 424-229-4140. Steve, a Time Warner Cable Spectrum employee, is showing the ropes to Stu, a new one, and they've got their truck parked, their van parked, the back opened up, and he is cussing him out something fierce. And Billy, a college student walking past, thinks it's funny, so he gets it on video with his phone. And he tells Stu, he put the wrong cable box in there. That one was meant for the senator. And yes, sure enough, CEO of Spectrum's with Spock, the tech guy, and he's they're looking at a little old lady watching her soaps, and the top brass guy says, well, maybe he's a processor, he does no trouble. For decades. Make that video, post that video, whatever you get when you don't get me. So Trump is being, putting his plaster on his hair, and the general tells him all about Spectrum and their active participation in America's Hijack Lifelines. 424-229-4140. And he says, I hear they're also making nice pornos and making nice monitoring equipment with those cable boxes and modems they have. Try to call me. 424-229-4140 and see their active participation in your family's hijack lifeline right next door with that decibel law breaking fleet. And Trump says, oh damn, I once fired somebody while wearing a sexy maid outfit. Do you think they have that on video? General just smiles. So this is my new Mormon image here. Beware Mormon. If you've seen the character I have of them, yes, the Utah LDS Latter-day Saints, proud of that title. I've already got it prepared like these are as big 4x6 prints. Those are 4 to a 4x6 print there. You also come in 2 to a 4x6 print. And it's in this big collection, the Flickr 4x6 photos. And yeah, 4 to a 4x6 print, 2 to a 4x6 print. Let me show the big ones. That's a white background so the photo printer doesn't crop off any of the image. Yeah, we don't like you casing our homes and preying on our elderly neighbors. Makes a nice sticker as well. Ralph is picking up some emergency supplies. They're helping out. Tornado or hurricane or some kind of disaster out in the east somewhere. And he says, Leo, why do you have so damn many body bags here? I've seen a lot of disaster preparedness folks, and they don't have that many. And Leo says, oh, we're right next door to those zealots taking part in America's Hijack Lifelines. 424-229-4140. the Mormons, LDS, Latter-day Saints, prior to that title. They're a whole lot more than Jim Jones ever was, and we want to be prepared to, disease once all those folks caught being a part of the devil's work and want to go join him. Melton Brady, Melton, Stone Cold Melton, son of a carpenter, Daddy Carpenter, worked on skyscrapers, Mom Mary Ann. And your phone not working is a threat to national security as well as your family's security. 424-229-4140. I haven't had a 9/11 Flight 93 check in a decade of asking. Whatever boring thing you get when you don't get me, it's not going to be boring when you need the firemen, police, paramedics. I looked on a Google map, and Homeland Security is down that way a little bit. Their office. When you can't reach me, you can't. You don't know when else your phone won't be allowed to work with that unnewsworthy censorship. I guarantee you it's going to be just as unnewsworthy if you need the firemen, police, paramedics, and it's not allowed to work. So if you were to see Muslim terrorists, like I see around here all the time, and you picked up your phone, that's where it's a threat to national security. Make a video of that hijack call right now.